What's poppin' T Squad? It's me, Keisha, and I am here with my all tea, all shade raising Kanan season 1, episode 6 review. First off, I want to just start off by saying thank you from the bottom of my heart to each and every one of you who left comments under my life update video, who sent prayers and messages, and I especially want to give a shout out to anyone who sent me a cash app. It was so unneeded, but just thank you anyway from the bottom of my heart. I want to give a special thank you to let me find her name. Viola Kennedy. What you did was so unnecessary. I struggle with even accepting it. Thank you so much. It warmed my heart. I was speechless, still am. Thank you so much. Like I said, to you and everybody who has reached out to me, sent me messages, comments, emailed me, cash app me. It's not needed. It's not necessary. But thank you all. I was just overwhelmed over the last few days with all the prayers and, like I said, words of encouragement. As you can see, I'm doing good. I'm not sickly or anything except for having cancer. But physically I'm doing fine. I will be keeping you guys updated on everything with probably weekly vlogs about this whole experience. So I'll have a full update for you guys next week after I go to the doctor again. But as you can see, alive, well, doing good, no illness as far as physically in my body. I'm doing good. I'm in great spirits mentally, spiritually, and thank God physically. I have no ailments outside of having a mass. But anywho, not gonna talk about that. Everything is good. So on last night's episode of Raising Canaan, we start off the episode with Rock at the projects building, and she's trying to get on the elevator, but the elevator does not work, which I would think in her line of business would be a problem. So she has to walk up the flight of steps to the eighth floor where her apartment building is. And when she gets on the eighth floor, the building manager tells her that the inspector is there and that he's pissed off. And he was like, I told you this shit could get me fired. So the inspector tells her that she can't remodel shit, and that um she gotta get this shit together and she must be new around here. So she was like, I'm just a cook, I'm a single mom, and he tells her she'll be evicted and go to court if she don't fix this shit. So Rock uses her feminine wiles and asks how can she fix things, and he says, meet me alone here at 8 o'clock, and I mean alone, and maybe we can work something out. So he takes the bait because men are easily persuaded when it comes to their dick. So he leaves, and Rock tells the building manager that her crew will be there to finish shit later on. He was like, did you not just hear what the inspector said? And she was like, girl, fuck that inspector. We getting to work, nigga. I go to work. So then we see Famous and Kanan out putting flyers for the showcase. And then we see Howard roll up on his doctor and ask, what if he does have a son? And she was like, I thought you said you didn't have no kids. And so he was like, look, if I did, would that help my situation? And she says, if you did have a son, hypothetically, that he'll be a half match. So then she was like, well, how old is this hypothetical son? And so Howard was like, he 15. And she was like, well, he needs to be over the age of 18 or over, and we'll need a parental consent. So he looking like, damn, because he know good and well Rock ain't gonna give him no goddamn consent unless he blackmails her or uses something over her head to get Kanan to do this surgery for him. He might even threaten to tell Kanan, but he's gonna use some type of leverage to get Kanan to help him or whatever. He might even try to get close to him on his own. Something's going to happen there. So Luke and fake ass Selena Gomez, who I can't stand, head to the showcase venue, and she bigging him up like, "You did this, baby. Oh my god. Oh my god. I just love you, Poppy. Yes, 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 yes." And he looking like, all right, bitch. I love me some Lulu. Lulu is my favorite. I'm in love with Malcolm Mays, the guy that plays his character. He is my new bae. He is my new husband. I have left party, Partisan Fontaine for him. He is my new husband. We are together. So back the fuck up, bitches. Back the fuck up. So Rock is there and asks, does he have a crew together to push product during the showcase? And he was like, nah, this ain't that type of party. He was like, this could be a clean business for us. Like, we need a clean business. We need something outside of this drug shit. But Rock is so hard-headed, she don't want to listen. And he's actually right. Like, they do need a clean business, something that they can use if the feds and shit come on their asses or whatever. But Rock's so street-minded, she can't see the future. But Lulu is actually very correct with this. So Rock was like, well, if we ain't gonna be dealing, what about Neek? And he was like, he ain't gonna be dealing neither. So in the process, everybody keep on coming up to Lulu asking about money to pay for this, pay for that. And she just looking at him like, so you just the money man. You just paying for everything. Like, go ahead on, girlfriend. Keep on being these folks sugar daddy if that's what you want to do. And he kind of looking at her like, bitch, shut the fuck up. Did nobody ask you shit? So Lulu then goes to see Unique by himself. And this just shows you just how much of a nigga Lulu is. Like, ain't shit pussy about him, nigga. I'm gonna step to you by myself. So Neek fine ass getting his shoes shined while his nigga sitting around. I just love Joey Badass as this character. Like, he just exudes a New York nigga playing Neek. His mannerisms, the way he talk, everything is just down pat. So Lulu was like, I need this show to be clean, no trouble. So Nick was like, what's in it for me? Lulu says, you might need a favor one day. He was like, I love a favor, especially from a nigga like you. So he was like, if Rock down, I'm down. But of course, when he leave, Scrap comes out. And remember, Scrap works for Rock. And so Nick was like, you in the turncoat here, gonna light that motherfucker up tonight, to him and one of his other workers. So Scrap looking like, fuck. I don't know. Maybe they had him locked up or something, or maybe they had him stashed there so he couldn't get in contact with Rock to let her know what was going on. That's what I'm suspecting, especially since he came out the back. I'm guessing they held him there ever since he came to, try to work for them. Because I was like, why wouldn't he have informed them of what was going on before the showcase? So I was like, that's the only thing that made sense, is that they held him captive until this showcase. So Marvin Fine ass, like, I just gotta give it to the niggas on this show. Marvin Fine, Lulu Fine, and Joey Badass character Neek is fine. Like, all three of them can get it. They can all gang bang me at one time. Yes, ma'am, I said it. Like, one in the front, one in the back. Hell, the other one in my ear. Like, it doesn't even matter. Like, all these niggas is fine. A great cast when it comes to the dudes. So, and of course, the lady that plays Rock is just stunningly beautiful. So, Marvin Fine ass checks in with the crew and asks, did anybody show up? And they was like, nah. So he was talking about the re. So Rock is cutting Kanan hair, and that scene just reminded me so much of me and my son, because up until like the last 2-3 years, I was the one that cut Kyrie's hair ever since he was a little baby. So that was like our bonding time between mother and son. So I love that scene. So Rock is cutting Kanan's hair and asks about Symphony's class, and he was like, everything is going good or whatever. He's kind of nervous because he thinks that she doesn't know about him and Symphony deal, that Symphony wasn't going to tell her that he came and picked him up from the jail. So she was like, when was you gonna tell me you got scooped up by the police? And he like, God damn, this bitch is Jesus. She know every motherfucking thing. Like, God damn, you can't get shit past this bitch. So Kanan was like, how you know? Like, damn, mama. And so Rock was like, what that cop say? No, she was like, I know because Scrap told me. He was like, man, Scrap the op. And she was like, no, the fuck he ain't. And what that cop say? So he was like, he ain't say shit, but that, he knew you and that you used to be in love with him or whatever. So she looking like, this motherfucker here. Like, God damn it. Like, the walls is closing in on me. Like, the fuck. So Rock was like, Scrap said some man picked you up, and Kanan was like, I asked Symphony to do it, and to not say nothing, like he trying to stick up for Symphony because he know the Symphony did him a solid or whatever. But Rock is not feeling that shit. She don't like that shit. Like, you don't do no shit like that. You got me fucked up. So Rock is pissed because now she got to deal with Symphony betraying her, even though he did it out of the kindness and goodness of his heart. He wasn't trying to be malicious, but it was still a betrayal. And now she see that she got Howard sniffing around, and it's just making even things even worse. So Rock is pissed, and she tell Kane to stop acting like a dumbass kid and step the fuck up if you want to be a part of this business. Because the way that you moving, like I can't trust you. Like you moving like a motherfucking kid. So he's sitting there like, damn, I done fucked up again. Like she ain't gonna never move me up in the ranks now. So Juke is at home watching Die Hard when fake ass Cindy Lauper stops by, and she's just so excited to see her because she's been down and depressed since she got kicked out of little Cindy Lauper house. So Rock, Lou, and Marvin having a meeting, and Marvin tells them that Dean missed the re-up and that they ain't never happened. So they're almost out of product now. And Rock was like, when are we not almost out of something? So she just like stressed the fuck out. Rock says to Lou, step to Greasy then. So Lou was like, I gotta get back to this venue. And she looked at him like, I know you motherfucking lying nigga. Like, this is your priority. Fuck that showcase. And he was like, and Marvin even scoffed like, this nigga hurt. And so Lou was like, but first I'll hit up Greasy. So Rock was like, don't forget this business is what keeps you motherfuckers fed. Like y'all want to get out here and be P. Diddy and shit. And you out here trying to be, I don't know what the fuck, Marvin, but like this is what pays the bills. And so she leaves. So Marvin was like, fuck you and your bullshit showcase. And Lou stand up and pulls out a flyer. He was like, Juke is performing at my bullshit showcase. Oh, you didn't know, sis? Oh, okay. Try being a father to your motherfucking daughter, nigga. So he leaves, and Marvin's sitting there with egg all over his face, looking dumb as fuck because he didn't even know none of this was going on. And Jukebox didn't even bother to tell him, which further shows how much of a discord is in their relationship. And remember on what was it, the last episode, what was this, episode 5, we found out more about Juke's mom, and that Juke's mom was a pass around. So at this point, I'm still questioning whether or not he's even her biological father or not. Um, so it's the night of the showcase. Cindy Lauper says she coming to that motherfucker. Kanan, no, I'm sorry. So Cindy Lauper tells Rock, I mean not Rock, Jesus, all these names. What's the little girl name? Jukebox, that she's coming to the showcase. Like she'd been lying to her mama and them for the past week and a half, telling them that she's going to some little white girl party or whatever, so she can have an excuse to get out the house. So Kanan asks, step up to Marvin, was like, let me holler at you. So they go take a ride. Rock goes to see Dean at bingo. And she asks, and I was like, what do I know this man for? Then I had to remember that he was on season 1 of The Wire. And I was like, oh, that's where I know his face from. Great actor. So she goes to see Dean at bingo, and she asks him, like, what's up with Rhea? And no, she asks first, where is Smurf? And I forgot who Smurf was. I can't remember really who he was, but she asked where he was at because he used to be the dude that was standing by the door. And he was like, oh, he gone on to heaven. He on the stairway to heaven. So she looking like fuck. So he tells her that their business is concluded because her competitor, Neek, agreed to pay a 20% premium to secure his and her supply. And he don't trust her. And she and Smurf would be the first person to attest to that. So I was like, who is this Smurf nigga? I forgot who the fuck that nigga was, but apparently he had some tie to Rock ass. So Rock's sitting there like, fuck me in the ass, like god damn it. Like her back is really up against the wall because now she don't have a supplier since Dean is unwilling to fuck with her. So she just leave at that point like fuck. But Rock always got another trick out of her bag that she can pull out. So Kanan shows Marvin his gas station and so shows him how they can deal like through a driveway system without worrying about territory, which is a really good and smart idea. But Marvin was like, nah, nigga, you kryptonite. I was told to stay the fuck away from you. I don't really know about this. But he was like, I think about it. So Rock goes to the bodega to see Julia, the wife or whatever, and she beat the fuck up. Like her husband didn't fuck her face up. And she gonna lie, was like, I fell into the wall or some shit. And Rock was like, okay, yeah, sure, girl. So she was like, look, I need you to speak to your cousin. And I know you know who I'm talking about because this cousin of yours is connected. Like, so now she knows that Julia's family is from someplace like in Mexico or Puerto Rico or somewhere, whatever her descent is. And this motherfucker is connected to some drug shit and she needs to get to him. So Julie was like, you know, you got to talk to my husband about this. And she was like, nah, nigga, I'm not here to talk to your husband. I'm here to talk to you. Like, you got to get some balls about yourself. And like I told y'all, them two motherfuckers going to become partners. I told y'all that on my last review that they're going to partner the fuck up. Um, so Burke peeps Juke and young Sarah Jessica Parker out putting up flyers while she's waiting on the bus. So the little girl get on the bus and leave, and Burke steps to Juke by herself about D Wiz's murder, and she looking at her like, "Bitch, I'm not talking to you no op. Like, girl, get the fuck out of my face." But Burke was like, you know, we could talk about other things, like other things that other people might not know about, but I know about, basically about her being a lesbian. And Juke just look at her. She don't say nothing because Juke is smart. She peeps game. And so she leaves a flyer on Burke's car. So I'm like, is Burke a lesbian too? Or is she just using that as leverage to try to get and build a close relationship with Juke? And at that point, that's when I realized and put two and two together that that's the tie-in of how Juke ends up becoming a police officer later in life because of her friendship that she's going to build with Burke. Boom, bow. Burke is going to be the one that piques her interest with the law. And that's how she's going to end up becoming a police officer. But she's always going to be a crooked police officer because her being a police officer gives her leverage with doing dirt in the street or whatever. So Burke is the one that ties her into becoming a police officer. So we see that whole situation coming full circle. So it's the night of the showcase. Rock is dressed to impress. I love whoever is doing the styling on this show. They have the styling for the 90s down pat. That outfit is something that you would have seen on A Different World or a movie from the 90s, something Halle Berry would have worn, something In Vogue would have wore like to a red carpet. It was perfect. I missed that 90s style and it looked so great on the actress that plays Rock. So she helps Kanan get dressed and she's trying to tie his tie. And she was like, this is one of the times I wish I had a man around to help. And he was like, really? And so Rock was like, you know, do you miss having a father? Just trying to see where his head is at on the whole situation. He was like, nah, I can't miss nothing I ain't never had. Plus, that's what I got you here for. So she like, okay, cool. Like, good. So he then tries to stick up for Symphony again, and she ain't trying to hear that shit. Like, no, that nigga done fucked up. Don't try to stick up for that nigga now. Nope. So Burke is outside the showcase, peeping game, surveilling everything by herself. Lulu, Jessica, and Famous pull up in the limo, and I was like, why you with this bitch? Fuck her. We do not like Jenny from the block. So Neek, Worker, and Scrap get their guns out of the car, getting ready to go into the venue to shoot up the place, spray the club up. So Juke is backstage, nervous as fuck to go on. Little Sarah Jessica is there trying to show her support, but Famous come back there or whatever and was like, we got this shit. He trying to act so hard like he ain't phased, and Juke ass goes into the bathroom, locks herself in and throws the fuck up. So Rock checks for her gun and make sure it's in her purse when she goes back to the projects building to meet with the inspector. So she go in and he's sitting there waiting on her, and he was like I'm happy you dressed up for me, and I also heard that you some type of drug dealer. And so when he go to like touch her, she smack his hand away. And then this crazy motherfucker decides that he gonna choke her the fuck out. And so her purse and stuff falls to the floor. He pushes her up against the wall. He gets the choking the shit out of her, and he punch her in her stomach. And I was like, you punk pussy ass nigga gonna punch this skinny ass woman in her stomach. You could have broke a spleen or something. What the fuck is wrong with your big ass? So somehow, some way, she's able to push him off of her. I can't remember. So they both trying to catch their breath or whatever, and she sees like this mallet or something on the floor, and she picks it up and she knocks that nigga over the head with it, and he falls the fuck out on the ground. I was like, "That's what your ass motherfucker get," because all of this was just off. All you seen was flesh, and I was like, "That's what your nasty ass get, you nasty motherfucker." So Kanan goes backstage and meets little Christina Aguilera for the first time, and they ask him to go talk to Juke, and he was like, "We ain't really fucking with each other right now," but they get him to go talk to her. So Marvin then steps into the apartment and sees Rock standing there and this man body on the floor taped, and his arms and legs is taped the fuck up. So he like, "You all right?" And she was like, make a meal out this nigga. And she grabbed her shit and she struck the fuck out. And I was like, that's what a boss bitch does. I love this episode in particular because we really got to see how much of a boss Rock is and how much respect and fear she puts in niggas' heart. And I love that we're seeing a strong black female being represented in this manner on a show where she don't take no short, she ain't no punk, she uses her feminine wiles, but she also uses her street smarts. I love Rock's character. She's so complicated. She reminds me in some aspects of myself when it comes to her mothering. I just really loved the way they shaped and molded her character. So she leaves out, and Marvin prepares to dispose of this body by himself because he's like the hook of the situation. So Kanan apologized to Juke for threatening her and says that, he felt like shit as soon as the words left his lips. He finally gets her to come out, and she was like, "You know what? I kind of think Famous is a dope rapper." He was like, "Don't ever tell that nigga that because we ain't gonna never hear the end of it." So Marvin puts the inspector inside the wall, child. And I'm like, hell to the motherfucking no. While in the meanwhile, he's bitching the whole time about how he's undervalued in the family, but how he gonna show these motherfuckers that they sleeping on him. So then he drills two nails into the inspector's head and then closes up the wall. But I'm like, the body is gonna decompose and it's going to start to stink. So it would have been a great idea if they weren't using that apartment. But I'm like, why would they put this dead body in the wall and it's going to start to smell? I didn't really understand that part. Maybe he just put him in there for the night because it was just drywall at this point. It wasn't like cemented down or whatever. And at some point they're going to take him out. I can't wait to find out what's going to happen with that. So at the showcase, Symphony tries to buy Rock a drink, but she storms the fuck out. He chases her outside, was like, "What's wrong?" or whatever. So she was like, "You don't make decisions about my son. You know who I am. You know what the fuck I do to niggas that, betray me." She was like, "You went behind my back. I can't accept that from nobody, even you." So he was like, "Damn, so it's like that." And she was like, "Exactly like that." So he look at her, he's very hurt, and you could tell like it hurt her to do it, but it was just something that she felt like she had to do. So he walks off. And to an extent, I understood where her character was coming from because this is my child and my child got locked up and you felt like it wasn't necessary for me to know. I don't give a fuck if he did ask you not to tell me. That is still my child. You don't do no shit like that. But then on the other side of the token, he was trying to build a rapport with him like she wanted, and they're bonding with one another, but she's just so used to just being mama and daddy, she don't know how to let go of those reins. So I can see both ends of the spectrum um with the situation and how she had to put him in his place, like don't step over the line when it comes to my child. So as he's leaving, Rock sees a scuffle outside the venue, and it's these Brooklyn niggas. So Lulu step outside just looking like a snack, and I just want to take off my clothes, Jesus, and throw them at him. So he tells the dudes like, "Ain't nobody getting in with a strap tonight." And so the little dude, he was fine too, in the little burgundy suit, was like, "I told Crown you wasn't about shit." And Lulu was like, "You know you on the south side, right?" long way from Brooklyn. Not everybody makes it home. Baby, my nipples got so hard. Jesus Christ, I love that little dude. So Rock then steps up and the dude simmers the fuck down. And once again, we just see how much of a boss bitch Rock is because she ain't even gotta say shit. She just her presence puts niggas in their trap and stops niggas in their tracks. So the dude was like, all right, then, no problem, it's all good. And he was like, no doubt. Yeah, nigga, I know it's all good. So Rock steps to Lulu was like, I'm proud of you, Lulu. Like, I really am. You doing your thing. But when the sun comes up, we back at it harder than ever. And she walked the fuck off. And he was looking like, damn, bitch. Can I just have one night, 24 hours to be off the clock? God damn, do we have to be drug dealers all day long? So Rock heads out and she sees Burke sitting over in the car surveilling. So she walks over to the car and she was like, you tell Howard the most dangerous place to be is between a mother and a child. And Burke was like, I don't even know what you're talking about, girl. And she was like, he does. And she skirts the fuck off. So Burke looking like, what the fuck is going on here? So the dude outside screaming, the dude that was trying to get into the club with the strap inside the venue screaming Brooklyn and this, and that. He just doing way too much. I was like, I wish somebody would shoot this nigga in the mouth. So he tried to holler at Jessica. She was like, I'm a Lulu girl. And I was like, since when, bitch? You for the streets. That pussy for everybody. Fake ass Angela. So then the dude tried to get on little fake ass Madonna and she all scared and shit. So she was like, back the fuck up, nigga. And I'm really not liking the fact that these Puerto Rican, Mexican characters up here saying the N-word like that. But okay, whatever. So she was like, back the fuck up, nigga. Go talk to one of these other bitches. So Crown then comes over and he lighting up a blunt, but it's laced with crack. So Jessica was like, no, I'm good. I'm all right or whatever. But when he passed it to little fake ass Madonna, she looking like, shit, I don't want to be a lame or whatever. And she goes ahead and smoke it. So at this point, we seeing she about to become a crackhead. And that's going to be the end of that relationship between her and Juke when Juke find out her ass is out here on the crack. So Scrap and Neek's boy go in through the back window to get inside the venue. Scrap, when they get inside, was like, you gonna tell me who we hitting? Because they keeping him in the dark or whatever. So dude just walk off. So he like, fuck, like I still don't know who the fuck we about to hit. So then we see Marvin arrive at the venue or whatever. Everybody in the audience, Famous and Juke hit the stage. And as soon as they get on stage, Famous is nervous as fuck. Now he's scared. Now he being a pussy. Juke step in and she was like, what's up? South side of the motherfucking building. We about to do this shit. What's up? It's all love. Like she just take over the crowd. And she starts singing. And they get to performing the song. Famous finally start getting a little courage or whatever. He started rapping. And the song was actually hard. I wondered if 50 right. I'm pretty sure he probably did. So they get to rapping the song or whatever. And Marvin all in artist, that's my daughter. That's my daughter. Like at first he didn't believe in her as a singer, but now he all like, yeah. So Kanan in the audience bobbing his head to the beat, like he fucking with it until he realizes the shit that Famous ass is rapping about. Famous is rapping about his life. He's rapping about how D Wiz got killed. He's rapping about the stash house getting robbed and how only two people survived, meaning him and Marvin. And he looking like, I know you motherfucking lying. I know the fuck you ain't using my life in your rhymes trying to act like you hard and you that nigga and you snitching in rhymes, nigga. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? And Famous look at him from the stage like, yeah, nigga, I'm sorry. He looking at him like, wow, I expected so much more from you, nigga. So I told y'all Famous gonna end up dying. So get ready for that death to come soon. So Neek Boy tells Scrap it's Lulu that we hit. This gonna be his last night. So he like, fuck, like how I'm gonna tell this nigga. So Lulu ends up turning around and seeing them, and Scrap goes like this, signal like this nigga about to do some shit. So Lulu plays it off, turns around and screams, fuck Brooklyn, and punches a nigga. So everybody get the banging and shit. Marvin step in, they get the fighting or whatever, and everybody get the rushing out the venue. Neek Boy and Scrap run out the back and he's behind Scrap and he was like, Neek knew you was a rock snitch. We knew you would never hit Lulu. And so he got the gun to Scrap head. And I was like, damn, like it solidified in my mind that they had to have had him isolated so he couldn't have forewarned anybody over there in Rock's crew. So now he fucked. And I told y'all Scrap was gonna die too. So I was like, yeah, Scrap is gonna die. So Marvin pulls up on his boys and was like, y'all ready to put in his work? And they was like, well, we hitting the blocks. And he was like, nah, the highway. So I didn't really know what that meant. I think that I took that to mean that they going to pick up products from Julia's cousin that Rock asked about. That's where I'm thinking. So Howard is at this restaurant looking at a picture of Kanan while Rock is at home smoking a cigarette, nervous as fuck and damn near in tears because of everything that's going on with Howard and Kanan and her and Symphony. Like shit is just fucked up. So then we see Kanan go to the little girl house that he got a crush on. They fuck because her little fast ass pulled a condom from out of her drawer. I'm like, you nasty little heifer. So Famous in the venue getting his dick sucked by this little white girl on the bus, jukebox, and little fake ass Madonna on there, and she little fake Madonna hides a kite and tells her she don't want to be with nobody else. But I was like, bitch, you are gonna be with somebody else because you's a crackhead. Lulu and Jessica in the car, she trying to tend to his wounds, but you know, he being all mad and surly. And she was like, I like a man that can throw a punch. And I was like, this bird bitch, why you like her? And the way he was fucking her, like you could tell he like her because she a nasty bitch, because she gonna go like this and get the saliva off her tongue to wet his dick. I was like, you nasty porn star having ass bitch. So he was like, ooh, yeah. And I love Lulu. I want Lulu to be with a black girl. And I can't wait for Jessica to die. Jesus Christ. So they fuck in the back of the limo. Then we see Kanan sneak in the house after fucking the little girl. Rock is in the bed asleep, but then she hear a gunshot and she hears somebody say, "We got your boy, nigga." So she grab her gun and she run downstairs, and Kanan is right behind her. She look out the window, see the car skirt, and then when she opened the door, lo and behold, guess who's sitting or laying on her walkway, only in his drawers, dead to the motherfucking bed, and it is Scrap. So my first death prediction that I said, well, one of my first death predictions have come true, that Scrap was gonna die. So Scrap has died. May he rest in peace. I'll bring a case of Vest soda to the funeral. So my one of my predictions have come true. So Scrap is no longer. I still say that I think Jessica's gonna die at some point. Famous is gonna die at some point. Neek is gonna die as well. Is there somebody else that I'm forgetting? I think that's it. Neek, um, Jessica, Famous. I think those are only other three people that I think are gonna die this season. This season. So overall, I give tonight's or last night's episode of Raising Kanan an A. I really loved that episode. I didn't see any mishaps as far as the writing. I felt like the acting was on point, the fashion was on point, the venues were on point. I love this episode. It was one of the best episodes to me this season as far as the writing and everything just flowing together. So yeah, let me know down below in the comment section what you thought of the episode. Make sure to thumbs up this video, like and subscribe, and also make sure you guys subscribe to my backup channel. The link is down below in the description box. I love you guys immensely from the bottom of my heart. I'm giving you all virtual hugs and kisses. I will see you guys later on tonight for my Potomac review. Bye.